Thank you, Madam Chair. In recent years, Congress has provided very significant increases for Border Patrol agents, border fencing, and technology projects such as SBI Net. The GAO report is quite critical that Customs and Border Protection has received over $1 billion for the SBI Net program, with little to show for it due to technology and integration problems. Mr. Borkowski, I appreciate very much your emphasis on the distinction between the southwest border and that of the northern border. As part of the northern border project of SBI Net, remote video surveillance systems were deployed along the Niagara River in the Buffalo sector and in the Detroit sector. This technology was chosen because of the unique operational area, which consists of coastal Maritime, Lake Erie, riverine, Niagara River, urban, Buffalo, and rural environments. How effective has this particular system been in securing the northern border against illegal border activity?
The feedback, Congressman, that we've gotten from the Border Patrol, which would be the one who would make the assessment, has been very positive. We now have technology in areas where it has not in the past existed. Now, there have in the past been RVSS, remote video surveillance systems, and those are day and night cameras that are remotely controlled on towers. There have been some of those in Buffalo. This filled in some gaps in Buffalo. We're also using it, frankly, these are systems, we have about 250 of these deployed along the southwest border. And of course, the environment, I was raised in Buffalo and Rochester, it gets much colder there. We had problems with lenses freezing over, those kinds of things. So part of this was to take a look at how well they actually held up in that environment. They do seem to hold up very well. They went up actually very quickly, very cost effectively, and the feedback that we got from the Border Patrol has been very positive in what that's allowed them to do in terms of seeing what's going on. I would like to make one point of clarification if I could. When we talk about SBI Net and how much money's gone to SBI Net, we've had trouble with the definition of the term SBI Net. I don't call what we put up in Buffalo or Detroit SBI Net. The system we were putting in Arizona is SBI Net, and we have been kind of loose with terminology in the past. It's important because the $1.5 billion that the GAO talks about includes almost $1 billion for the SBI Net in Arizona, but the rest of it is for things like the northern border, mobile surveillance systems, tactical communications, and just to be clear, we try to make a distinction between those, among those technologies.
Okay, and for both Mr. Borkowski and Chief Fisher, the GAO report found that only 69 miles of the 4,000-mile border is currently considered under effective control. 38 of those effective control miles are in the Buffalo sector. Mr. Fisher, in your testimony, you emphasized the importance of strong partnerships with the federal, state, local, and tribal agencies, as well as the Canadian government, to protect the border and expand intelligence and information sharing. I recently visited the Border Enhancement Security Task Force, BEST, in Buffalo, where they discussed their role in securing the border. Their partnerships have allowed them to make 284 arrests, 95 indictments, 44 convictions, and the seizure of approximately 7,200 pounds of controlled substances, $2.3 million in U.S. currency, 49 firearms, 38 vehicles since the inception of the program in March 2008. However, the recent GAO report referenced that numerous partners have cited challenges relative to undermining the full capability of the program. Can you help us understand that a little bit better?
Yes, Congressman, I'll try. I mean, one of the things when you look at operational control as defined and applied, and you look at the northern border, I mean, one of the deficits the northern border chiefs had over the years is because predominantly the definitions were predicated on technology, they were predicated on fence, and we realized that in the northern border in particular, a lot of the personnel enhancements in the fence not only were not going to go in proportionally to the northern border, but in a lot of those areas it didn't make sense to put fence along the northern border. And so what we asked the chiefs to do at the time is take into consideration the relationships and the operational coordination that you're doing. What we're doing right now is trying to figure out how do we quantify that in terms of whether it's OPCON miles or a greater sense of situational awareness. Because at the end of the day, what we really want to know about is that information and intelligence of those individuals that are intending to come into this country on the northern border. Do they have the capability, and by what means would they try to come across the northern border, both in terms of location and techniques, tactics, and procedures? That's a little bit different model than taking a look at linear fence application or camera systems across a broad desert area. So we're trying to get a better modeling to try to put a little bit of fidelity in terms of how we assess that. Again, assess the risk, not necessarily in terms of linear border miles, because it's a different operational environment with a different threat as defined.